satellite images have shown how China is developing two new air defense positions close to Doklam and Sikkim, both areas where there has been a standoff previously. The satellite imagery shows that the PLA is developing surface to air missiles to pick out air targets with greater accuracy. This comes as India has reminded China to reciprocate to the efforts made towards disengagement by the Indian side. So, what does this really indicate? What do these new positions really indicate near Bhutan? Is China, in fact, saying one thing or doing another? Well, that's what the Chinese disposition and nature has been always. Let's get a perspective on this from some of our noted panelists. Joining me on the broadcast is Major General Jks Parihar. We are also joined by Wing Commander Praful Bakshi, former Chief Spokesperson of the IAF, and last but not the least, Major General Shashi Asthana, Strategic Analyst and China Affairs. And General Parihar, being in a precarious situation, despite having to counter a confluence of countries coming down upon them, descending upon them, despite being boycotted economically by India, the United States, and Australia in some regards, China still continues unabated to up the ante when it comes to military construction. Let's talk about Xinjiang. You know, the highway in Xinjiang, 572 kilometer, those roads did not stop. In fact, China lifted the COVID-19 lockdown on the 30th of March. And since then, the infrastructure building and the pace of it by China has continued unabated.
It's always a pleasure with you, and to have a second down position when you have a Wing Commander Bakshi and General Asthana has beautifully made a canvas. I have very little to add on to it, but I would like to differ with on certain points. First of all, the China does not act in haste. They plan well in advance, and this strategy has been planned by shipping in 2015. The impact came on the Doklam in 2017, and then this Ganwan Valley positions. Now we talk of absolutely, Wing Commander Bakshi is absolutely right that we have an air superiority on the entire border from the Uttarakhand, then the Nakula, Sikkim, Doklam, and Arunachal. We have, because of the ground, we at the lower level, then obviously they have to come from the high altitudes. Still, despite of these advantages, China has built up in Lhasa and Hotam and all two other, strategically they are very well placed. Now, whatever the China wanted to gain, they have already achieved in Ladakh. And though I am an Indian, but it is very sad part on it, that this LAC has been redefined and you won't be able to change it now. They have occupied the positions which they wanted to do it, and there will be no face of nothing. They will remain sitting there and nothing will happen, because our government is not aggressive on a military option. And not only this government, the government since 1988 onwards, they have never bothered to redefine the border disputes, and we are going with the bureaucracy's perception concept. That is the biggest hurdle on it. So ultimately where we can do something was on the Uttarakhand and this Nakula and Doklam, and China knows about it, that India is going to act on these 3 points. So they are consolidating on these 3. And if any action would take place from the China, it will be on Tawang, Doklam and Nakula and on the Dharchula basis. So our all aim has to be how to protect it and make the China submissive on it. Regarding the Indian Ocean, China knows that the Malacca Strait is covered by the Andaman Indian position. So they are trying to get with the Thailand, they have a isthmus and the new canal and the CPEC. China's agenda is not now the Ladakh. China's agenda is now Gilgit-Baltistan, to occupy it either by hook or crook, as they have offered Pakistan that they are not able to pay the debt. So now you give us the 100-year lease of the POK. So India should target now on the Gilgit-Baltistan how to secure it or how to avoid it getting into the China, and to ensure that this Lipulekh business, whichever, is not the Nepal brainwave, it's the Chinese brainwave. So major episode will come after 5 years or so, will be in the Doklam, where they are offering Bhutan to develop some kind of consensus with the China and to accept this position as a functional border, and in turn the China is offering them a lot of aids and all. So situation is very interesting. military wise we are very well off, but our political will is still, they are hanging between the economy and the military option. And as I have mentioned, whether it was a NDA or UPA, 12 years of NDA and 30 years of UPA or Congress, they have not done on it any act way, because the bureaucracy is against the military options, and they are going with the accepting the Chinese views on the perception of the international this LAC. I don't know why we are accepting whatever they say, that it is a perception and we are accepting it.
Absolutely. Beautifully articulated, General. And General Asthana, General Parihar, Wing Commander Bakshi, thank you so much for spending time and speaking to us and giving us those insightful perspective on this very important matter.